Hello and welcome to EV Platform. Today we're looking at the MG ZS EV Long Range 2022 edition again, but this time Blake had it for a full week. He had it for a road test. He did a bit of a review. So let's get straight into the details.
We got our hands on the MG ZS EV only a couple of weeks after the market launch where we live. We were hugely impressed with the car. We thought that they had really addressed the issues with the previous iteration. Aesthetically, it worked much better. The charging flap was no longer a catastrophe. The infotainment, although still not great, was much improved. We loved the sunroof. There was still plenty of space in the back and the boot. But there was one thing left that we couldn't tell at the launch. What would the bigger battery be capable of? So, with a WLTP figure of 273 miles or 440 kilometers, we decided to test out the range in winter for ourselves. The car was nearly brand new when we collected it, something like 200 miles on the clock and fully charged up to 100%. So 3 hours of driving around the city for work and a 30-mile motorway journey got us home having used a mere 17% of the battery. We were impressed with the range and efficiency and couldn't wait to see how it got on during the week. So we did the usual jobs such as dropping kids to school, getting the shopping, visiting family. But after a few days we encountered a problem. We still had half the battery left. Some range test that was turning out to be. So we decided to head out for a drive the day before the car was due to be dropped back. Our other range test videos saw us get pretty low on charge and we didn't want this to be any different. So let's head out on the road now and see how we got on. And stick around for our short review on what it's like to drive the MG, and then back to the studio at the end where Derek and I give our overall opinions on the MG and where it will fit into the market.
I've picked a location about 75 kilometers north of where I live, and I've done that for a few different reasons. The main one being that it's about 150 kilometers of a return journey. Now this car in eco mode is telling me that I have 195 kilometers of range left, and even if I put it down into normal, 186, and sport mode says 177. So according to the car, based on the driving we've been doing already, we should make that. But the thing is, I know that we're going to be hitting up the motorway a lot. It's only 6 degrees Celsius where I am at the moment, so the heating's going to be going on a little bit. And also the place that we're going is right on the side of a mountain, so at some stage we're probably going to be going up to about 410 meters above sea level. So this will really challenge it. I'm not sure that we're actually going to make it back because we've only got 40% of the battery, and I really want to run it down below 5% anyway by the time we get home. So look, let's just hit the road, see how we get on. We'll give you some updates on the way and let you know what sort of temperatures it is, what sort of drive and things like that as well, just so you get a real feel for the accurate range, real world range of the MG ZS EV. Catch you later. So we have arrived in Carlingford. I'm going to show you where we are now in a moment. Open up the sunroof here. Car has handled it really well. I'm very impressed with the efficiency in terms of us being on the motorway, and I wasn't holding back. I was doing the speed limit all the way, and it's done really well. Now, there's no wind to speak of. It's still 6 degrees Celsius, and we've dropped maybe 10, 12, 15 meters of altitude over that journey. But it's covered 66 kilometers, and we only used 21% of the battery, which leaves us with 26 for the return journey. So I'm thinking that we're going to mix it up a little bit on the way back, because if I turned around and did the same journey home again, I'm almost certain that we would make it, with that kind of 4, 5, 6% to spare on the way home. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. Now, where I am in Carlingford, it's an absolute beautiful setting. It's great. We can just open up the sunroof. You see that mountain there? I reckon we're going to go up and around that. And with the bit of mist that's there at the moment, you can't even see the top of it. So I'd say that's the journey we'll take. I'm going to go and get myself a little drink, a little snack, and have a look at Google Maps and just plot out a course that will test us in a different way on the way back. So a lot more country driving, and we're going to go up that mountain pass, I think, and push this car a little bit more to try and get home with as little battery as we can. So catch you later. Oh, it's absolutely freezing up here at the top of the mountain. The car tells me that it is only 1 degree Celsius. Absolutely fantastic scenery though. Love it up here. Anyway, I'm so cold. I'm getting back into the car. Now, we gained a huge amount of altitude on the way up. So we are now at 490 meters above sea level, and it burned through the battery. We are down to 17%. 17%, having left the car park only, 5 miles away on, 26% or something like that. So, at this rate, there's no way we're going to make it. But that's the thing with electric cars, and the guessometers on this, which is telling me that we've got 44 kilometers of range left in sport mode, even though we're, 80 kilometers from home or something like that. But as I said, we're carrying a lot of altitude, and we're going to head downhill now. And I reckon we'll see that range figure go up. So we'll give you an update again later on. What's the MG ZS EV like to drive? And it's a really, really good chance to talk about one aspect of that. For me, you always got to break it down into two. How does a car feel at high speed, at motorways, at 70, 80 miles an hour? But what I'm doing right now, there isn't even close to enough room for two cars to pass each other here. I'm on the side of a mountain. We're coming down from 490 meters above sea level all the way down to about 20 or 30 meters. And the car has actually gained 1% battery in the last, 5, 6, 7 kilometers I've been driving it. But on these kind of roads, it's really bumpy. I don't know if you can tell that from the camera. And it handles that very well. So it's got big squishy tyres on it. I think they're small wheels, at 16 or 17 inch on these ones. And then you've got a fairly soft sprung suspension as well. So it's taking all the little bumps quite well. We're about to go over one of those cattle grid protectors here. Yeah, I barely even know it's there. Having said that, if we were looking to take these roads a little bit faster and have a bit of fun with it, throwing it into corners, seriously, it's not the car for that. It lulls about a little bit. The benefits of that really, really soft ride is also a downside if you want to have a bit of fun with it. But look, that's not why you buy these cars, It's got plenty of power to get me up and down these hills. So when you want to get up the hill, you've got 280 newton meters of torque. That's from a 115 kilowatt motor. And in terms of horsepower, you're looking at, I think it's 156. So it's plenty of power to get me up and down these hills. And if I had an extra 4 adults with me and some bags, it would still be absolutely fine. I'm sure of it. Yeah, plenty of power in this. And plenty of power when you're up on the motorway as well. When you come in behind a truck and you're doing 50 miles an hour and you want to get back up to 80 miles an hour quickly, it's got all the torque you want to get you up there. Now, it's never going to be, Tesla Model Y performance standards or anything like that, but it's plenty. Do you need any more? We all love to brag about it. We all love to say my car will do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3 seconds flat, but when do you ever use it? When's the last time you actually put your foot down and went from 0 to 62 miles per hour? Maybe coming out of a toll booth on a motorway or something? Never use it, really. Still nice to have it, though, isn't it? So just to give you an update there, we were on 10%. It's actually just gone down to 9% now. But this is interesting. This popped up on the screen here saying you are running out of charge. Visit a nearby station. Yeah, I'll probably still have, 20, 25 miles left in it. But anyway, what does it do? If we click on that one just there. Okay. Pops up a map of all the stations close to me. Interesting. Yeah, giving you the power potential output and things like that. Not too bad. Anyway, we'll get on the road again and give you an update later on. Okay, another little update. Listening to EV News Daily, Martin Lee there. Martin, quiet for a minute. Another little update. We have 5% of the battery left and I was only, 1 mile from home. So, bit of an anticlimax, really. The car just keeps on going. We're going to do an extra loop around the town that I live, including going up a hill there, try and burn through some of this battery and get a little bit closer to zero. Anyway, back to you in a bit. Okay, I was driving along there and the first warning came up. So it's at 4%, but a little sign came up there on the display saying that speed and power has been limited. Please find a charger. But I've still got 4%, so I'm turning around and I'm heading back in the direction of my home, and then any little bit of extra distance that I can get I might do much closer, because I really don't want to get stuck out in the middle of the road in a press car 4 or 5 days before Christmas. No, that's not good. Okay, catch you in a bit. Okay, this could be the final update for me. We have just hit 1%, so I'm a little bit nervous now because I'm still a good mile, maybe 2 miles from my house. It should be okay. Pack voltage is way down now. It's sitting at 305. I really wanted to get this thing to hit the 400 kilometer mark from one charge, and we're on 393. So I don't quite think, maybe there'll be a little bit left in reserve. You know, when it goes down to 0%, it's still 4 or 5 kilometers in it, so maybe it would make it. But at this stage, really, it's what do they call it? Squeaky bum time. I just want to pull into my driveway. But 1% still a little bit to go. All right. The next one you're going to see is me by the side of the road with the blinkers on, or me in my driveway. We'll find out soon. It's going to be okay. It is. It's fine. Okay. So I'm almost certain I'm going to make it now. Done the final few hundred meters down to my house. It's downhill as well, so even if the car shut off now, I'd be able to roll home. But yeah, what a little monster this thing is. Pack voltage is dropped down just above 300. It's still showing 1%. But interestingly enough, it's still allowing me to go into sport mode. Although I know it doesn't feel like I'm getting all the power. But still, standard enough, you know. I can still turn on my heated seats. And can I turn on the AC? Yeah, it's letting me turn on the AC as well. So there we go. I still got 1%. I've the feeling I'd get a few more kilometers out of this if I really wanted it. And it's up at 395. So I'm in my driveway now. I'm just going to call it quits right there. This has been brilliant. What a car. What I might do is just let it sit like this for a while, come back out a couple of hours later, turn it back on again, see what percentage and voltage, pack voltage it shows. But yeah, it's made the trip. I think head back to the studio maybe and round things off. Well, there we go. That was my take on the MG ZS EV. Wow, it's a mouthful, isn't it? Especially when you throw in the long range 2022 with Derek. That's enough of me talking and spewing the name out again. What do you think of this car? Because you've had the car as well. We were both at the market launch. You've reviewed it on your own channel. What do you make of it?
I really like it. I think it's great value. I think, and when we say great value within the spectrum of electric vehicles, it's great value for what you get for the price that you pay. Is it affordable to the majority? Potentially not quite there yet, but it's definitely getting more towards it. So yeah, it is, I think, a good EV.
Yeah. But then you factor in the price and you go, oh. But anyway, I like my review was, very, very positive. I do expect there's some, let's say shortcomings or underwhelming parts of it, even though it's so much improved from the last one. Do you think that they've taken enough of a step forward with this one? Have they improved it enough?
I definitely think it's a good facelift. It's that good mid-cycle iteration. I think the fact that they've just tweaked it slightly and they focus on the areas that people wanted MG to focus on, or SAIC motors. A slight improvement in the looks, infotainment system, a bit of a step up, bigger battery, which is everybody wants a bigger battery. Just the quality, feel, fit, finish. So yeah, it's enough to get to the mid-cycle, and then in a couple of years' time, we'll hopefully have a fully refreshed ZS. But I'm quite happy with this one.
Yeah. And then just to look ahead, because this is, okay, the MG brand is on it. We've all got certain associations, and I can remember the MG Midget and, it's, from older generations, maybe because we haven't had that many MGs around, the last couple of decades, considering the problems they've had. But essentially, it's a Chinese company now, it's owned by SAIC Motors. So what do you think? Are we starting to see a lot of Chinese cars coming into the, various worldwide markets now?
Yeah, for sure. I think that they've figured out what they're doing in their home market of China, and obviously that's huge. So that the production quality and quantity, and the Chinese consumer isn't accepting rubbish anymore. They want high tech, they want high spec, they want good sized batteries, and so you can start to see that creeping into the European market where we're based, with Norway, with BYD, with NIO, with Xiaopeng, and then you've got Great Wall Motors and Li Auto. You've got so many of them coming in, and so you'll definitely start to see more and more markets being opened up to this, and it's going to shake up the traditional automakers. But then you've got the traditional automakers that are charging a premium, and the Chinese automakers are like, well, I think we can charge a bit more for these cars in these markets because the market is willing to pay more.
Yeah. Like, why would they not do that? These are businesses. If they can charge a little bit more and still have the same effects, then why wouldn't they do it? But look, as you said, they are putting pressure on a lot of the, the established manufacturers in Europe.
And me and you have given out, we've been quite critical of those manufacturers charging so much for the EVs, using the excuse of batteries, and that just does not hold true anymore with the costs. So I think fair play to them. It's going to put a bit of pressure on, and if we can get, because of the likes of MG or Aura coming in, if VW then have to lower their price of an ID3, from 37 to 42, or Audi bring down their Q4 e-tron from 65 to 58 even, it just lowering that down little by little bit from the pressure. That's a good thing, because the prices of EVs are just too high, and it's not justified, I don't think, anyway.
No, for sure. And you know what? It wouldn't be an EV show if we didn't mention the word Tesla. And when Tesla start to bring in, and all going well, when they're starting off the Roadster, then the Model S and moving it down, there's a lot of rumors about the Model 2, or that smaller electric vehicle. And when they bring that in, and they're kind of the in-between with regards to, it's not something that we don't know of. It's Tesla, it's been around for years, but they're not a traditional automaker. So if they can bring that price point lower, then the European manufacturers and the Far East manufacturers will go, okay, Tesla have brought their price down again. We're going to have to match that or better. And speaking of Tesla, when we're recording this, you've had the Tesla Model 3, and there's a bit of a difference between the MG ZS and the Tesla Model 3.
There really is, because I did a similar, well, actually a much longer trip in the Tesla. I don't want to give away too much, but I put a lot of kilometers on it yesterday. Quite tired today because of it. But just the range is that much better. The efficiency is that much better. The the adaptive cruise control, because I did a lot of motorway driving on that trip. It's just that much better, and you kind of, oh yeah, I would like the Model 3 over this. And then you kind of go, wait, hold on. The MG is, it's nearly half the price. Actually, that's just stunning.
Like, you could get a brand new MG ZS EV long range 2022 and a second-hand decent Leaf, very decent Zoe, like, probably a new Renault Zoe as well. So like there's a couple of cars in there that you could have two for that Tesla Model 3. So definitely it is a conversation piece. Let us know in the comments. Whenever we do these MG videos, our stats light up from around the world. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's chat, review, road test of the MG ZS EV Long Range 2022 edition. This has been EV Platform.
Thank you very much for watching.